Our film begins with a man named Kabir, and we see him riding in the car with Dhruv, the young son. And the two of them are waiting for Janvi, Kabir's daughter. And the one in my hand, when he sees his daughter standing with her colleague at the university and she's preparing, and he keeps honking at her to get into the car. And when John is riding in the car, her father asks her about the young man she was standing with. She evades the question and is not willing to answer. And Kabir understands that his daughter loves this young man. And when they return home, Janvi asks her family to go on a trip with her friends. So Kabir agrees, even though Jyoti, his wife, refuses. And she feels very sad and comes. And then they all watch their video when he was traveling, and it appears. They are a happy and understanding family. And the next day, they all travel to their farm to spend the vacation there. And they keep joking and laughing on the way, and then they go into a restaurant to have lunch. And Janvi says that she is eating because the food contains a lot of fat. He leaves a large meal and asks for tea, but he does not have any cash left with him. And at this time, Vanraj appears, and whoever invites him to tea, he offers Kabir a chance to sit with them. So he agrees. Then Raj gets to know them, and they tell Kabir that he works as a chartered accountant, so he wants a picture of the little girl. At this time, he calls Kabir, and he leaves and gets up and offers to Janvi that she eats the sweets of whoever is with him, so it's okay for him to try. Dhruv is about to take it from her, but Janvi eats it quickly, and suddenly she feels that she is not hearing anything, as if the person talking is far away from her, and she looks at Vanraj, and the one who is asking her to eat, and it appears that he has put something in the sweets for her. So Jan smiles while talking and eats the whole food, and then she feels that she is not well, and asks her father that they should go. When she gets into the car, Vanraj stands next to her, holding a biscuit in my hand, and asks her to eat it as soon as she reaches the farm. She also smiles, so Janvi agrees along the way, and when he arrives, she stays sitting in the car until she eats all the biscuits. After that, she enters the house and goes to the swimming pool with her family, and they play with each other and joke around. Then, Jibhuti enters the kitchen and puts her phone in a box. At this time, she sees that Raju is standing in front of their house. She is surprised and recognizes Kabir. What they are surprised about is that he asked her to open it for him and apologizes to them. This is because his phone was unplugged and he saw their house by chance. That is why he entered, and Kabir came out to his wife. She makes him tea until he changes his clothes, and then Vanraj asks that she go into her room, change her clothes, and come back to him. And he smiles at his words all the time. At this time, Jyoti becomes worried about Vanraj and asks Kabir to walk him, and this is because she is worried about him, so it appears from her that she is hiding something. It is important that he is going to go out and walk, and we will go back to Janvi, who changes her clothes and stays with Vanraj, and who asks her about her life. So Janvi loves him everything about herself and her lover. And you also know that she will go on a trip with him in the middle of the month. So Vanraj tells her that she will not go because she will go home with him and will live with him forever and ever. She agrees. And while he's talking, Dhruv asks his sister to play with him, so she'll play with him. Then Raj goes on and asks Janvi that she prefers to play with her brother until he feels that he doesn't want to play at all. So John smiles at his words and rides with her brother on the swing and continues to play until Dhruv gets tired and screams. Jyoti is terrified when she hears him and tries to stop her daughter, but she fails. He has a big brother in his hand, and he also tries to stop her, but he does not know, and Janvi does not stop except when Raj asks her. And she feels a pang of guilt when she sees her brother passed out and thinks so, and he tells her that she is apologizing to him. And when the night comes, they all sit down. They are together to have dinner, and Kabir asks his children to forget what happened, so he refuses to speak and says that he spoils his family very much. He is very generous, and he asks him not to interfere in his personal life, or that he does not know anything about it, so he sells it. Then Raj says that his daughter will go on a trip with her lover and other children. Then John tells her that he is the one who asked her, and that she cannot refuse his request, and that they all believe it. When Raj asks Janvi to call her lover and break up with him in front of them, she also tells him that she will not go on the trip, and that Janvi listens to his words at all times and follows his commands, with a big hand and a vet, but Janvi stops. To her father, she prevents him from expelling him, and he believes Kabir when his daughter tears him up. And Jyoti tries to understand what happened to her daughter, and tells her that she does not have to listen to what Vanraj says. So Janvi tells her that she must carry out his orders. So she disobeys Kabir, and they ask about what he did to his daughter and to his daughter, Jyoti, when she finds out that it was an act. She has black magic, and their daughter is now under his belt, and he fixes his bed for them. And he asks Jean that she prefer to sit and stand, and then he asks her to cry and scream, and Jean smiles at his words, and after that he asks her to go out in the rain and sit in the swimming pool and not get out of it. However, when he tells her that Janvi is afraid for his daughter and is trying to stop her, but Janvi is doomed to leave, there is a big bird egg. He begs Vanraj to spare his daughter and stop what she is doing. Vanraj agrees and takes their phones from them and asks Janvi to break them and cut off all phone and internet lines, and then she will bring tea. She eats it, and Jan smiles at his words and prefers to eat tea even though she hates its smell. Kabir tries to stop his daughter, but suddenly she hits him with pain, so Kabir feels helpless, so he scratches his head, and then he asks them to leave his daughter behind. And the one who will abandon her themselves, Fabir breaks Kabir and tells him that this will never happen. But Faraj remains confident in himself and knows that they will abandon her willingly. And they know that he loves the sight of people expanding. And while he is talking to him, she massages his leg on his leg, and he puts a hard rash on his leg, causing a large nerve to attack him. And he suddenly attacks him, and he feels Raj not letting go of him, and he lets Janvi blow her brother's brains out. The stairs, and you are injured at the same time when the door is knocked on, and the police appear and go to the house, because they received such a call from Jyoti's phone, and the police keep knocking, but no one is opening it. So the officer's hand takes advantage when he finds Kabir and his wife sitting with Vanraj, and he hears music, and Kabir apologizes to the officer. And this is because of the music. It was loud. And that's why when they heard the door banging, and at that time, Janvi was in the kitchen and kept opening the gas pipe and the matches, and it appeared that Vanraj was the one who made her fall in love with the house, if her family took pleasure in him, and she was afraid that her daughter would fall in love with him in the house. And she quickly got her phone from the kitchen and said, the officer said this one was the one who called the man, that he likes to play these pranks a lot, and at this time he's getting worse, and what we see is him bleeding in his room and coming out of it at the same time that the officer is walking in and feeling the pain, and his daughter Judah breaks the phone, and Peter is very keen to leave the money exchange for the fact that he will give him everything he needs. And he owns it, so he agrees. Then Raj and Kabir blame all the money and jewelry in the house and give it to him, and he rents the money that he made, and he takes the money and walks away, feeling very relaxed and feeling that the matter is over. But he is shocked when Ben Raj is obsessed with money and says that he will not be able to buy it with money, which is a weak point in humans. But the truth is that he does not have this weakness, because he is not a human being. And they know that the night they are in does not come except every 1,000 years, and that after a few hours he will unite with the universe, and then he will still be God. And it will appear that Vanraj is crazy, and this is because he thinks he is the creator. So between Har Kabir and he and Goti continue to cry and enter. Vanraj is at home and asks Janvi to hit herself with a pen. He found that she wrote on it and did not say to Lush about the phone issue. Janvi continues to hit herself with the pen to some extent, and her face gets blood. Kabir feels helpless and leaves and enters his daughter's room. Then Vanraj asks Janvi to dance and not stop at all. Jyoti was afraid for her daughter, who was very tired, and brought her water, but Raj made Janvi throw water on the floor and asked her to bring a knife and count to 10, and if her mother did not stop, she would kill her. At this time, Kabir was with his son in the room, and they were trying to reassure him, and suddenly an idea came to him when he saw The recorder belongs to his son, and we go back to Giotto, who keeps standing in front of her daughter, but she walks away before she reaches number 10, and Van Raj asks Janvi that she guard him while he is sleeping and kill anyone who comes close to her. Kabir takes advantage of his sleeping opportunity and gets out of the room, but Janvi prevents him from getting closer, and Kabir tries to get down, but he apologizes when his daughter does the bathroom on herself to prevent him from going down, and this is because she is afraid that she will kill him. In the middle of a big break, he is telling his wife what happened, so he starts removing Jyoti for her daughter. At the same time, the Levan Raj comes in and tells him that her daughter needs to take a bath, but he stops her and makes Janvi take off her clothes in the hall. So she goes after Jyoti quickly, and she wears trousers and feels oppressed by her daughter. She takes the knife and attacks Van Raj. Her daughter tries to stop her, but she fails and hits Jyoti Van Raj. At the same time, the old man comes out of the window to attack him without noticing, and he sees his wife fighting with Van Raj. He enters at the right time before his daughter kills her mother, and he raises his oldest daughter after she stabs him in the legs with a knife. And after that, Kabir attacks Van Raj and continues to hit him, and whether he tells his daughter off or not, then there is a relief from John that she would rather laugh until she dies. So he smiles in response to his words and she laughs out loud, so he confirms. Kabir says that his daughter will not be burned with Van Raj's death, so he leaves him alone and Van Raj laughs at Kabir. He stops Janvi from laughing and tells her that her father wants her to return to normal and that he frees her forever. He asks Kabir to let Janvi walk with him and Pio that he frees her. Kabir is close to Fabir and he prefers to insist on his opinion. Van Raj decided that he would take revenge on them and asked Janvi to kill her brother. So she smiled at his words and quickly went out of her brother's room. But her family catches him and he loves to kiss her in the room. And Janvi curses and begs for my filth from the room, and she loves her family and takes peace, and keeps looking at her brother like a crazy person in order to kill him, and he panics and calls for his mother. To catch up with him, John breaks the door and runs after her brother. At the same time, Kabir comes out of the room and tries to stop her, but Janvi knocks him down with the knife in his hand and removes the ladder he is about to climb. Kabir quickly goes down to catch up with his son, but he arrives late, and you expect Janvi to come down from the roof and meet Kabir. He is crying next to his son, and the one who thinks that he is dead, and Yuti is sitting next to her son, and suddenly Dhruv wakes up and tells them that if they have time to save him, then Bibi Kabir and Juti agree that he will take their daughter and walk away and abandon her forever. And then they will soon take her clothes to the hospital. But Kabir will remain in the house to save his daughter and bring him back. The wound in his hand and he leaves the knife in it. And then he walks after Van Raj, who takes John to his place. And it appears that he has kidnapped many girls and bewitched them like Janvi and Van Raj in order to turn me into a devil and collect all the girls he kidnapped and sold their hair with rituals, which means that they will be brought closer to hell after that. He doesn't throw all the brides in it, and whenever he throws the red bride, they throw themselves in the fire, and the girls hear his words. At this time, Kabir arrives at Van Raj's place, and suddenly the girls of the one who bewitched Kabir appear, and they beat him. But he succeeds in beating them, and running away from them, and then he meets Van Raju, who... He laughs when he sees him and asks the girls to pull them, his eldest daughter, and extends his hand to her to catch him. But Janvi remains standing and does not move. And we know that Van Raj is doing all this because he thinks that he will be able to control the whole world after he carries out his rituals and throw away all the brides during the day, and only the bride will be left. At the last moment, Kabir burns him in his legs and quickly grabs the bride before she falls into the fire. At the same time, he cuts off Van Raj's tongue with the knife in his hand, and Pinar, so he starts screaming, but he can no longer speak. And Kabir throws his tongue into the fire. but the girls attack him and continue to want to kill him. At this time, he turns on the recorder, and what remains is Vanraj's voice, telling them that he is freed forever. We learn that Kabir recorded Vanraj when he was talking to Janvi, telling her that her father wants her to return to normal and free her forever. The girls, as soon as they hear Vanraj's voice, are freed from his magic, and they continue to cry. Kabir runs to his daughter, and they hug. And after a while, we see her in the hospital, and it appears that he and Dhruv have recovered, and the investigator intervenes on him, and she learns that the girls who were kidnapped have returned to their families because of him, and she is thankful that they were able to solve a case that they were not able to solve. Bess has great concern for Vanraj, so she tells him that he disappeared and that they are looking for him. We are assured that they will be caught and she will be tried. After the investigator walks, Janvi sits next to her father, and when she arrives, we see that Kabir is in a forest, blocking a dead man's room and entering a place of water. And the one who left Raj will be imprisoned there. And we learn that Kabir is the one who kidnapped him and imprisoned him in order to torture him and put the dead mouse in front of him so that he could eat it, and the rest of it would be bananas. He then feels free to eat bananas, but Kabir refuses and throws him away. Then he sits in front of him and says that he is a normal person, but he's a father who does everything and knows pain in order to protect his children. Kabir asks him to watch a mother fight for her children, and then he will understand the meaning of true power. And this is because there's no one stronger than the mother in the world, and Kabir thinks that he promised him that he would let him rot in hell, and that he is now his own devil, and the one who will leave him rotting in this place. This is Phoebus that Rajan keeps calling him, but he no longer knows how to speak, and the movie will end.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the Sam Bubbles family. Activate the bell and write to us. What is your favorite series or movie?